Hello and welcome back to another Final Table commentary. If at any point in time you find yourself not caring for the commentary, there'll be a link in the description down below to the video and BCP Poker Replay's YouTube account, so you can go check out the action and all the action out in some peace and silence. We got a fun one here today. Scoop 2023, a 1K PKO, Great Dant, Marco Vitas, Neka Gaddazi, Pads, MP Yav, Wild Ace Hun, and I am Mickey BR. Boopity boo. Great Dant gets one through with the ace and the 10, right? Sure hope so. I was too busy reading names, wasn't paying attention to his hand. Great Dant wakes up with a couple of kings. Mickey with a king-queen suited, gonna play call. Marco Vitas in the big blind with ace-10 suited. Hopefully just calls, don't jam. Don't you dare do it. You got 16 blinds, he might jam. And Marco Vitas plays call. Ace-10 2-flop goes check, check, check. Oh, scoop sale. No, that's old. That's an old scoop sale. That does not count anymore. We do see Mickey go for a small bet ski here with the straight draw to the jack. Marco Vitas with top 2 will play call or raise. I suppose you could raise. The board's so dry, I figured it would just be a call. Marco Vitas says, yep, it's just a call. Great Dant says, I've got king, king, ace high board. No! King on the turn! No! The one outer for Great Dant gets there. But he folded, of course, on the flop. Mickey makes a pair of kings. Gonna go for another bet ski here. Try to get called by a flush draw, maybe some of the straight draws. Marco Vitas, what do we do? Do we stick it in on the turn here? There isn't a bad river, perhaps, besides maybe a king that have been folded by Great Dant. Queen's obviously not good, as Mickey will make 2 pairs. But no, wait, that's fine. One ladder to a jack. Mickey makes 2 pairs. Marco Vitas with the better 2 pairs. Brendan is a little lost in this hand, if we're being honest. I think it's going check check on the river. Yep, it does. Marco Vitas will scoop a nice pot. Doopity doo. So it was the jack, not the queen, that we were sweating. Brendan was lost. He's a bit of an idiot sometimes. Queen 6 for Marco Vitas. Queen 6 for Great Dant. This is what we came to see. Blind on blind. We see a 3x raise from the small. I don't know if Great Dant calls. He puts in the raise. We can't call, but we can 3-bet here. Make it 7 blinds to go. And Marco Vitas will find the fold with the same hand. Blinds go up. Ace and a 10 for MP. Ace and a 9 for Neka Gaddazi. King 10 suited for Great Dant in the small blind. 3 playable hands. The ace 9 could hit the muck here. No, plays call. King 10 will hit the muck. King 8-7 flop goes check. Check? Question mark? No, Neka Gaddazi puts in a small bet here. 2.2 blinds, about a third pot. And MP will fold the best of it with ace 10. Jack 10 suited for pads. They'll come in for the open. King Jack for Neka Gaddazi with the big stack. Could put in a 3-bet, but they find the fold. Marco Vitas with ace 10 suited could call, could 3-bet. I don't think folding is an option. 3-bet comes on in to 5 blinds. And Pad says, what the hell is this all about, and finds the fold. Ace and a 9 for Neka Gaddazi. We'll see if he opens it on up, and he does. Wild Ace Hun with an ace folds a small blind. Doopity doo. Great Dant with a 7 and a 5. I don't know why I thought he was going to play it. Mickey with Queen 8. Looks like the most playable hand that we see. Pads in the big blind with a king and a 4. Looking to get a walk here. I suppose MP is probably going to play the Queen 6 in some manner. Could go for a raise. Could go for a limp. Nope. Pad gets a walk. Doopity doo doo. So until somebody busts, we might see a little bit of a tighter play. Jack 9 suited hitting the muck from Wild Ace Hun. 8-4 suited for pads will limp it on in. Neka Gaddazi with an 8 and a 5 unsuited. We'll go for the check. I was trying to preemptively say raise. It did not come in this time. Both players make 3 of a kind. Looks like we're going to chop this pot up, providing there's no 5 or 4. Jack of hearts on the river. Excuse me. Doopity doo da doop boo. Pads bets large. And Neka Gaddazi. Does he ever raise here? Pads might fold 3 of a kind if he raises. It does just go bet call, and we chop it up. Ace and a 9 for Wild Ace Hun. Might let this one go again. Would be nice to see them raise it on up. It doesn't look like there's too much playability behind them. We'll see pads raise the 8-5 suited on the button. Marco Vitas in the big blind with 9-8 off. Doesn't know this, but he's in a great situation here. 8-7-7 flop. Both players with top pair. Marco Vitas obviously with the better kicker. Both players with backdoor straight draws. Marco Vitas with the backdoor flush draw to go along with his top pair. He's got the backdoor straight flush draw, actually. Marco Vitas goes for the check raise. Pads calls jack on the turn. So we do have some chop outs. What are we looking for? A card above a 10. An 8. A jack does not work. Nope. Pads puts in a little Betsky here. Big bitch do. So any card below a 9 is a good pot. A good card for Marco Vitas. He will take the pot is what I was trying to say. 8s and... No, wait. What am I talking about, Brendan? What the fuck? It's a chop pot. How are my eyes so broken? I don't get it. I know how to read a damn board. I just don't know how to open my eyes and look at the board. Sorry, everybody. Just saw a little bit of road rage. Aces for Neki Gadazi. We'll go for a small 3-bet here. Great Dan in the big blind with a couple of 8s. Damn it, man. There's 7-7, 8-8, and a jack kicker. That's 5 cards. I don't know what is wrong with my eyes. How does he think he's going to be a commentator if he can't even fucking look at the board? Somebody tell me that one. Marco Vitas with a 6 and a 5. Gonna find the fold from the button. Jack 3 for Mickey will get a walk. Jack 8 for pads. We'll raise it on up. Marco Vitas with an ace and a queen can dunk this all in. I suppose they could call as well. Man, I'm tilted. I'm so surprised I can't read the board. He's been doing this for a while now. Ace queen does dunk it in and gets it on through. Ace king for Marco Vitas. They'll raise it on up again. This time not all in. Just 2.1 blinds. MP in the big with a queen and an 8. That's a 9! He did it again! That's a... Okay, we're gonna have to bring this up with the doctors. I don't know what happened. 9-8-6 flop goes check, bet jam. Ace king is in a weird spot. As we see, it folds its 27% equity. Sorry, everybody. Neki Gadazi goes for the raise. They take it down pre with aces. This is a rocky road. We should probably restart or something, but he's just gonna let it go. 8-6 suited for wild ace. Off the 13 blinds, they'll find the fold. 7-7 for pads. We could dunk it in. We could go for the limp raise jam. That's a beautiful play with a pocket pair. Playing about 20 blinds deep. Neki Gadazi checks back the 10-6. King Jack 3 flop goes check check 9 on the turn. Neki Gadazi with the straight draw to the 8. We get a 9 on the river. Pads leads out small, about half pot. 1.5 blinds is small. Half pot is not. Doopity doo. The bet gets through. Ace and an 8 for wild ace hun. Rip it on in. Get it on through. Move on along. Pick up the blinds. Marco Vitas with an ace in the big blind. He is dominating wild ace hun, but I suppose he's going to fold. If he calls, he could get that $1,500 bounty. Now he's going to find the fold. 5-4 suited for Neki Gadazi. I'm quite proud of myself for being able to say what cards he has. He's going to go for the Limpsky. Little Limpsky, Neki Gadazi. 4-3 for Great Dan. 10-8-6 flop goes check, bet, fold, and we're moving along. Doopity-doo. Whoa, Great Dant is thinking about something. Can you imagine a check raise on that flop playing 15 blinds deep? Holy shit. I suppose it was 16. But who's counting? Ace and a jack for wild ace hun. We'll go for the min raise. Mickey in the big blind with ace and a king of the same suit. We'll jam it all in. Wild ace hun hopefully finds the fold. Although, Brendan's efficient. Brendan would call. Look at this sizing. 4.6 blinds. This is terrifying. We've got a fold now, don't we? Nice fold by wild ace hun. That sizing was so scary. Had he jammed, some fishes are gonna call. 6-6 for pads. Queen for Mickey. Ace-9 in the big blind. We're gonna see a 3-bet from Mickey, I would imagine. Pads will have a fold with the 6s, hopefully. Nice. So nobody's busting yet. Marco Vitas with an ace and a queen. King-queen for Mickey. We see Nekakadazi up to 40 blinds. Pad started this thing off with one of the bigger stacks. Is down to 25. All in from Mickey. This is bad timing. He's got the king and the queen. Ace-queen from Marco Vitas is going to go. Call. Any kings? King on the flop. Any aces? Ace on the river. What the fuck just happened there? Mickey thought he's getting the bounty. $4,200 bounty. PokerStar says, no way, not today, buddy. Be gone. Mickey's got 7 blinds. Wild Ace Hunt is all in with the king and the jack, and it'll get on through for him. Doopity-doo. Marco Vitas with a couple of 5s. Now the biggest stack at the table. I suppose he could jam, but he goes for the min raise. Mickey with an ace and a 9. Is all in for 6.6 blinds. We get a call from the 5s, and we're going to flop a freaking set. Mickey's dead on the turn. So we finally see a bust out. Marco Vitas, the beneficiary of the bounty, gets a nice stack, 40 blinds. 3 3s all in. MP should get this through pretty, and they do. Queen and a 10 for MP will find the fold. Pads with an ace and a king will raise it on up. Nekakadazi lays down the ace 4 off. Unless Marco Vitas gets crazy, this will get through. King 6 off could always go for a 3-bet there. You never know what happens. Ace and a queen for Nekakadazi will raise Marco Vitas with king 10 offsuit. Again, we could see a 3-bet, but I don't think so. Stick it on in, Marco Vitas. Put some pressure on Nekakadazi. It's not going to work out, but he does go for the 5.2 big blind raise. Does put a lot of pressure on the ace queen suited. But we're going to call jack 7-3 flop. Goes check, bet, and then I don't know what to do with the backdoor royal flush draw. But we see Marco Vitas with a 10 of clubs makes that impossible. 2 overs, backdoor royal flush draw. I call all the time. Nekakadazi, teach us what to do. 4.5 into 12.6. Nekakadazi plays call, 8 of spades on the turn. 21 blinds in the middle, and we got 20 behind. This is not fun for Nekakadazi. Marco Vitas in position says, fire away, looking for a 9, a king or 10. He'll just check and realize his equity. 9 of diamonds on the river, giving Marco Vitas the best of it with a straight. What if Nekakadazi turns their hand into a bluff? What size do we go other than all in? Can we ever bet half pot and expect to get a jack to fold? No, I don't think so. Nekakadazi says, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to try to get to fold. So he checks it on over. Like ace king maybe? You could probably get ace king to fold. Ace king with a spade might turn itself into a bluff on you. Boopity boo. Well, you're just behind ace king. So what does that matter? King 10 will jam it all in with the straight. And Nekakadazi will lay down the ace high. King queen for Marco Vitas. They'll raise it on up. And it looks like they'll get it on through. They might jam here playing 17 blinds deep. They do just rip it in. And they will get it through. King jack for Nekakadazi will raise it on up under the gun. 3-3 for pads in the big blind. Playing 20 blinds deep. He will play call 9-9-2 flop. Goes check min bet. Call ace on the turn. Interesting. 7 blinds in the middle. Nekakadazi says, I'll give you a free river. 7 of hearts. Surely we got a bluff here with the king jack. Blocking the hearts? Surely. So bet like 5 blinds. Do it now. 4.8? 2.8. Okay, well the small bet will get the job done. Pads quickly folds the 3s. Nice steal by Nekakadazi. Ace and a 4 from Marco Vitas off the big stack will fold under the gun. MP with queen 9 suited. Can rip from the button. Can limp? Can go for the min raise. We've got options here. Actually just lands on a fold. Alright. Lands on a fold. Wild Ace Hun with 7 blinds. Great Dant with 7.4. I suppose that went into their decision right there. As we see Nekagadazi wake up with a couple of jacks. Go for the limp. Do the limp. He goes 3x. This will get through pre-flop for him. Queen Jack for MP will fold. Nekagadazi with a king and an 8. We'll let this one go. Markovitis can rip in the Queen 10. And 8-2 will hit the muck. Ace and a 3 for Nekagadazi. Could let this one go. Although, we got 2 short stacks in the blinds. We did want the bounties. But Markovitis will get the opportunity with a couple of 8s. Wild Ace Hun is thinking about a call here with the Jack 10. We see they're pretty well flipping. Whoo, Jack 10. It could call. It does call Jack or 10. No, we see an 8 on the flop. Boat on the turn. That's a boat. And Markovitis gets a bounty. Most importantly, the chips. 51 blinds for him. He's all in with a King 10 suited. He can do that from all positions, I think. We will see next hand if he's going to do it into Nekagadazi's big blind. Or does he go for the min raise? He folds the 5-3 suited, giving Pads the chance to jam the Ace 5 suited. And Pads will get it on through. Ace 7 off for Pads. We could rip this. Min raise would suck. Yeah, like this raise, for me, in my opinion, it's so difficult to play post flop. Markovitis is going to jam, and then what do we do? Does Markovitis just call? Okay, so Markovitis just calls. My bad, Brendan's lost in the hand. First he said Pads was going to jam. Because I'm too afraid to play post flop. Pad says, I'm not afraid to play post flop, Brendan. Let's go for the big raise. 2.7x. Put Markovitis in a weird spot. Queen 8-5 flop goes check, check, 9 on the turn. Both players pick up pairs. Or not pairs, sorry. Straight draws. Goes check, check, queen on the river. Let's count out the cards, Brendan. Queen, queen is 2 cards. Plus an ace is the 3rd card. 9 and an 8 is a 4th and a 5th card. So we're chopping the pot. Doopity-doo. He got one right. Doopity-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. 9-8 versus Queen 4. Great Dant we see as 56% equity. If he calls. So one of those spots where you might just stick it in. He's going to need a queen or 4. He does not hit it. Markovitis with the pair of 9s holds on up. And they get another bounty. $5,800 on their head. Pretty sure they collected all 3 of the knockouts on the final table so far. King Jack is facing a jam from Jack 8. Call, Pads, call! Sweat the 8! No heart or nothing! Pads get the bounty. Boopity boo. Pads up to 24 blinds. And Nekagadazi with 20. Markovitis with 60. Got a king and a 9 for Pads. Markovitis with a queen and a jack. Got a raise from Pads and a call from Markovitis. Oh, that song sucked. King 10-6 flop goes check. Bet. Raise. Do it, Mark. Markovitis stick in the raise. You got the open-ended straight draw. Backdoor flush draw. He goes for the call. 3 of spades on the turn. That's no help. King 9 still doing pretty. Just sweating the ace and the 9. And oh, how dirty a 9 would be. Get the 7 of hearts on the river. 8 blinds will be sliding Pads his way. Might get a little bit more on top of that. Markovitis thinking about a bluff. I don't think it's going to work. He goes 6.5 blinds. Pad says, fuck me. King 9? What do I do? I block the straight. This is a pretty good call down hand. Nice call by Pads. Blocking the 8-9 with top pair. It's hard to do better than that. 3-handed? Yeah, that's a call. Nicely done, Pads. Ace-ace for Markovitis. 6-8 for Pads facing the big raise pre. Pads quickly folds. Ace-9 for Markovitis. Queen 4 in the big blind for Nekagadazi. Not what we're looking for, but again, we're 3-handed. We're going to have to defend some big blinds. Not that one. Ace-Jack will open it on up. Nekagadazi with an ace will fold the small blind. Nicely done. Jack 5 for Markovitis in the big blind. Hopefully they find the fold. Just preserve your stack there, bucko. May as well, eh? 8 and a 10 for Nekagadazi. We'll play min raise. Markovitis with ace 3 suited. Could 3-bet, could call. Love to see a 3-bet. What size do we go? 7 blinds? That makes a lot of sense. And Nekagadazi quickly folds. King 8 for Pads. Looks like a rip. They stick it all in. They stick in 10 blinds instead of 12. Interesting stuff. It's still effective jam, but Why wouldn't you just stick them all in? Why would you click it to 10? I don't quite understand. It's the exact same thing, really. Anyways, we're moving along. Jack 5 versus 5-4. Ace King 3 flop goes... Bet for a big blind. Pads can't fold just quite yet. He puts in the raise even with the straight draw to the deuce. And this will get Jack 5 off the pot, right? That it does. Ace and a deuce from Markovitas. We can raise it on up. They do go 3.5 blinds. King 9 quickly hits the muck. Boopity boo. King Queen for pads. They'll open it on up. Markovitas with a 6 and a 4 in the big blind. We could defend. Ace Queen Queen goes check bet fold. I wonder if pads gives him a free card. Nope. 1.2 blinds is the bet, and it quickly Mark quickly folds. Ace 6 for Markovitas. We'll raise 3.5 blinds. Pads with a king and a... nope, that's not a king. How did he do it again? Queen 8 of clubs. Oh boy. 4-3-2 flop goes bet fold, and we're moving along. 9-5 for Markovitas. Just gonna fold. 8-7 for Nekagadazi. We'll see if he limps it on in. Nah, he's just gonna fold. Jack deuce for Markovitas. We can raise it on up. 3.5x. Gotta put a lot of pressure on pads here. We gotta do that until Nekagadazi busts. Pads does get the chance to go bounty hunting every once in a while, ripping in the king high there and getting it through. 8 and a 3. Nekagadazi continues to pick up monsters, but he keeps folding, and I don't know why. Queen 10 for Markovitas. Ace 5 for pads. We see a limp pot. Pad says yes it is. Ace 10 7 flop. Middle pair, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw for Mark. We'll lead on out. We get a call from pads' top pair. 8 of clubs. What the hell, man? 8 of clubs on the turn. Goes check, bet, decisions. Queen 10 finds a nice fold. Nicely done. Man, Mark's playing a damn good game. Not getting himself in any danger. Nekagadazi with an ace and a 5 sees a raise and a call. Could stick it all in. He could just play call as well. Weird spot for Nekagadazi. I'm actually curious as all hell. What do you do here? Sometimes I rip, sometimes I fold. It all depends on the players you're playing against. Against these players, I would imagine Mark's opening wide as fuck. Pads' call scares the shit out of me, so I would have just called pre-flop. Boopity boo. But then if you make a pair, it's very hard to fold. Queen? No, that's not a queen either, Brendan. 8-3-2 flop goes check, check, check. I guess Nekagadazi didn't have an option. So it just goes check, check, 9 on the turn, giving pads top pair. Doopity doo. Nekagadazi looking for an ace or a 4. Markovitas as well with top pair. Oh no, is this going to be a huge ass pot? Queen on the river? No. Is the tournament over? Pads checks it on over. Jack 10 makes a straight. Oh no, Queen 9 makes 2 pair. Queen 8 makes 2 pair. Markovitas might just stick it all in. Okay, he bets 6 blinds, and I don't think pads folds. Well, okay, so Brendan's a fish. Brendan calls. What does pads do? Goes deep in the time bank. Nice frickin' fold by pads. Obviously, when he sees Markovitas' hand, he's going to say, what the hell is that all about, PokerStars? Why'd you have to fuck me like that? He wanted the bounty. He wanted, most importantly, the chips. But now look at this. Markovitas with 55 blinds gets a walk with jacks. Pads down to 16 blinds. A little unfair, PokerStars. Gotta say, you could have just let pads win that hand. Little unfair as we see pads rip in the king 5. Get it on through. King queen for pads. We'll raise. Queen 6 for Markovitas in the big blind. Doopity doo, they call. Oh, what do you know? Ace 6-3 flop goes check, bet, call. We're off to the turn. Ace of diamonds, that's no help for pads. To be fair, the draws didn't get there, so pads could always put in another small bet here to protect his hand. Weird spot, I don't really know what to do. When we check on the check on the turn, we're likely losing this pot. Pen on the river. Doesn't like 4-5, 5-4, don't they bluff now? Do we have to call with king high on the 10 river? This is so weird. Pads, let us know, man. Just find the fold, dude. Just move along. But you see why he's thinking about the call, right? And he calls with king high. It's no surprise. You get it. Just like that, Marco Vitas, 60 blinds. Pads is all in with an ace. Doopity-doo. They do get it through. Queen 6 for Pads. They limp it on in. Marco Vitas with a queen and an 8. Doopity-doo. Queen 9, 3 flop. Of course, top pair for both players. Pads does have the backdoor flush draw. This is a 2-pair draw. The boat draw. We see a check raise from Marco Vitas' queen 8. I think Pads dunks it in. Call kind of does the same thing. You're going to call on the turn, I think. But Pads has shown us the ability to fold a fair hand. Also calls down with king high, but again, it makes sense. Pads is going to do what makes sense, okay? We've landed on that. Marco Vitas is going to play a strong game and get good cards. 6 on the river. Just kidding. Marco Vitas runs like shit. What is this, River Poker Stars? Did you not see Marco Vitas' hand? He's all in. Pat's got 2 parry snap calls. Haha. Would you look at that? Marco Vitas gets rivered. 2 pair. I mean, I suppose it's only fair. Now we're tied up. Now we're equal. King Jack for Marco Vitas. Queen 9 for Pads. 9-8-2 flop. Goes check. Check. Ace on the turn. Doopity-doo. Goes check. Check. Maybe Mark bets. No, he's going to check. 9 on the river. Goes check, check, right? We got king high. We're just going to check and Pads will scoop a small one. Ace and a 10 versus an ace and a 3. I don't think Marco Vitas raises here, but he's thinking about it himself. He plays call. Ace 10, 6 flop. Pretty bad flop for Mark. Obviously he's got top pair, but Pads has top 2. Marco Vitas needs runner 3-3 or like runner broadways. So he could smack a jack for a chop pot. Ace does not work. Doopity doo. With that ace of clubs, I wonder if we're just hanging in there. Doopity doo. Pads puts in a big betski. 5 blinds into 7. Marco Vitas calls 9 on the river. Hopefully we can check fold, but I don't think so. Marco Vitas is thinking about a lead jam. He says, no, I'm going to check it on over. Pad says, what the hell is this river? 8-7 gets there. King Queen makes a straight on the turn. Queen 8 makes a straight. Pads is all in with ace 10, trying to get called by a pair of aces. We'll see if Mark lays it down or not. Nice fold. Good folding going on. Great folds by Mark. Yeah, so Mark's playing a great game. Getting lucky is all hell to get that couple of bounties, but to be fair, now that he's got the chips, he's playing great cards. Has a pair of 9s here. Pads with the queen high in position. Won't fight for the 2 blinds in the middle just quite yet. 2 on the turn. That's 2 pairs for Mark. Mark checks it on over once again. Do-ba-do-do-do-do-do-do. Pads checks. Deuce on the river. That's a boat. Full house for Marco Vitas. We'll bet over the pot just slightly, and the bet will get through. Do-ba-do-do-do-do. King Queen versus 6-8. Raise and a call. Let's go to the flop. Jack 8-2. Flop goes check. Decisions. 3 in a row for Marco Vitas. A couple of overcards. He'll give Pads a free turn. 7 of hearts. Pads feels comfy with that pair of 8s now. They check it on over once again. Doopity-doo. Another check from Marco Vitas. 4 on the river. Pads says, well, my 8 is good. I can go for some value here. Goes 3.1 blinds. And gets a fold from the King Queen. Ace King versus Queen 7. Boopity boo. Raise and a 3-bet. Excuse me. 5.5 blinds for Pads to call. And he's just going to find the fold. Ace and a deuce for Pads. King and a 9 for Mark. Boopity boop boop boo. Ace ace 5 flop goes check. Check likely. Nope. Mark says I'm going to put in a big blind bet. Does make some sense. We're trying to get called by spade draws. Not give them any free cards. 8 on the turn. Mark bets again. 1.4 blinds. Pads is obviously not folding. Could stick in a check raise. Deuce of spades on the river. It's Pad's favorite card, but Marco Vitas has king 9 of diamonds. Spades get there. Pads makes a boat. That's a boat. Full house. Aces over deuces. No action for Pads though. 6-3 gonna flop 2 pairs. Pads with a straight draw to the 5. Or nope, he's got a 5 in his hand. Straight draw to the 4. Backdoor diamond draw. Marco Vitas bets small. 1.5 blinds into 2.2. So I guess it was a big bet relative to the pot size. Small, as in it was only 1.5 blinds. He's gonna go for the slight overbet on the turn here, and Pads will have to fold, not picking up any equity on the turn there. Jack 10 gonna limp it on in. King 9 will check it on back. 6-3 2 flop goes check. Check. Queen on the turn. Doobity doo 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 doo. Marco Vitas checks once again. Pads checks again. 7 on the river. Does Pads bluff on the river here? 7's kind of an irrelevant card. We got a jack and a 10. We got jack high, so let's put in a bluff. And I think Mark's going to call here. I'm curious as all hell. I can see what Pads has, and I'm curious. Marco Vitas says, no, I'm not that curious, Brendan. And you can see what he has, so it's an easier call for you. Man, Marco Vitas is smart. King Jack for Pads. They're going to limp it on in. Marco Vitas checks back the 7 and the deuce. Ace 8 4 flop goes check. Check maybe. 10 on the turn. King Jack still holding up. Looking for a queen to make Broadway. Doobity-doo. Do we bet try to get a 4 to fold at some point? Maybe get an 8 off their hand. 7 on the river. Marco Vitas makes a little pair. Pads with king high. Sees a 1 big blind bet. Wow, I hate life right now. See, I'm curious again. I can see he's got 7 and a 2, and I'm curious. I'd make the call. Man, I'm a fish. Anyways, Marco Vitas with a 6 and a 3. Queen 2 for Pads. Facing the 2.2 big blind raise, they quickly fold. King 10 for Pads. 6-4 suited for Marco Vitas. Doopity doo 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 doo. 9-5-4 flop goes check. Check. Ace on the turn. Bottom pair of 4s for Mark. Got a flush draw. No straight draw for Pads. Queen of clubs will do for Pads. That is a good card. 6-4 checks it on over. Pads goes for some value. 1.8 was the size used last time. He goes for that again. Do 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 do. And the bet gets through. Boopity boo. 8 and a 6 for Mark. We'll limp it on in. 37 for Pads. Could raise. Does go 6.5 blinds. Look at the size. That's huge. That'll get through every time. Woo. 10-9 gets a walk. 8-9 versus king and a 2. Doopity doo. King 2 limping it in. 8-9 checking it back. King 6-4 flop goes check. Bet. Then what do we do with our backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw? Pads, do we just fold on the flop here? 9 high? We're sure as shit asking for a lot if we call. We're gonna go for the raise. I suppose that makes more sense than a call. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, we raise. That's a raising category. 10 on the turn, that's not what Pads is looking for, although he does have a straight draw to the 7. He was specifically looking for 7 or 5 of spades. I should say preferably, not specifically. Boopity boo, boop 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 boo. Although to be fair, on those 2 specific cards, he is going to continue barreling, so to an extent it was a very specific comment. You know, what does it matter? Queen 3 versus Queen 10. 3-3-2 flop goes check, bet. Wait, does Pads check back 3 of a kind here? He does. 9 on the turn. Marco Vitas Looking for nothing. A pair would be dirty. Don't do it to him, PokerStars. 5 on the river. Great. Beautiful. Markovitis can just check fold. No blinds will be committed to the pot. Doopity-doo. Does he ever get curious with queen high and call? He might. Markovitis has shown the ability to find folds. 1.1 blinds to go. I'm so curious. Nice fold by Markovitis. So I suppose if you're ever curious, just fold. Jack 7 for Mark. We'll limp it on in. 6-5 for pads. Do betty do 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 do. Thought about a raise. Instead, we're gonna go to the flop. 9-7-4 flop. Super interesting for pads. He's open-ended. A 3 or an 8 make a straight. Doopity doo. We get the 4 diamonds on the turn. Pads is thinking about a lead. Pair 7s for Mark. Ain't gonna fold on the turn here. Doesn't love the 4. We see a 2x over bet. And the bet's gonna get through. What a play by pads. Jack 7 just quickly hits the muck. Whoa-wee wee wah. Pads is using that stack effectively. He's gonna flop a pair of queens here. Markovitis with the backdoor straight draws. Small bet by pads. Markovitis finds the fold. 9-4 for Mark. Just finds the fold. Nicely done. Ace 9 waiting in the big blind. Jack 9 suited for pads. Ace 10 for Mark. We're going to the flop some which way. We get a limp raise. Do we ever jam? Just call, pads. Just call. Just call. 7-5-4 flop goes. I don't know. What do we do here with ace 10? What do we do? We check it on over. No heart for pads. We'll see if he fires away. 6 blinds in the middle. We get the 3 of clubs on the turn. So Mark picks up a straight draw to the duck. A 6 is a chop pot. Jack or a 9 are clean for pads. We get the ace of clubs on the river. So Markovitis has his pot locked up. And I highly doubt he's folding any which way the action goes down. Just gonna check it on over to pads on the river, let him bluff. Even if pads jams, I think we call with ace 10 with a 10 of clubs. We see a big bet. 5.3 blinds into 6.2. And I just don't see Markovitis folding. He goes in the tank. I'm afraid for him now. He does find the call. Nicely done. Do 10 and a 9 for Mark. 7-3 for pads. We get a limp. Do. Pads is thinking about something sneaky here with the 7 and the 3. He's just going to check it back. Ace 8-6 flop goes check. Min bet. Fold. 7-3 with 3 in a row. Just going to let it go. 3-3 for pads. Can rip it all in. Do. They jam. 7-5 folds. Ace and a king for Markovitis. Jack 2 for pads. Limp pot. 8-6-2 flop. No diamonds for Mark, but he's got the overcards. He's going to smack one of them on the turn. That's good news for Mark, making top pair, top kicker. Pads sitting there with the bottom pair. And the jack kicker. Sees a slight overbet here. Doopity-doo, 2.5 is the bet into 2.2. And hopefully pads just finds the fold. Nice fold. King deuce suited for pads. We'll see what he does. 11 blinds deep. He sticks it all in. And gets it on through. King 6 versus ace 10. Facing a limp. Pads might want to raise it on up here. Let's see what size he goes. Another spot where he could just jam. Could make it like 3 blinds. He goes 12, effectively jamming. And getting it through. Ace 7 versus 8-7. Do. Pads rips and takes it on down. Jack 8 for Markovitis. Queen 4 for pads. Limp pot. Doopity-doo. Queen 4 will eventually check it on back, I would imagine. Oh, pads jams it all in. He's going to buy that one pre-flop. King and a 2 now versus a 10 and an 8. Limp pot. Dang, pads is getting aggressive. Ace 7-4 flop. Goes check. Do we bet here with king high? Interesting spot for pads. He does go for a little bet, half pot size. 1.1 blinds, and the bet will get through. Ace and a king versus 6 and a 3. Markovitis will go for the raise this time. Pads will rip it all in and buy another pot pre-flop, pretty well tying himself up with Mark. Goes for the non-all-in 3 bet, makes it 5.8 blinds. This will still get a fold, but boopity boo. King 7 versus king 2. Pads raises. Mark will defend here somehow. Plays call, 10-8-6 flop. Pads with a straight draw to the 9. Nothing doing for Mark's king 2. Looks like a check and a fold for him. We're not going to see the bet come in, so he gets a free turn. Ace of hearts. It's no help. Do we have any chop pots? I don't think so. What about a king? A king is a chop pot, is it not? 3 on the river. Pads plays ace king 10-8-7. That's 5 cards. There we go. 4 blinds will slide his way. Boopity doo. Queen 3 suited versus queen 6. Limp pot. Pads thinking about a raise every hand. He's going in the time bank and he's just going to jam and get it on through. Wow, he's playing stupid aggressive. Markovitis had the big stack. Pads just slowly chipped him on down. Jack and a 3. King 6. It's suited. Markovitis will rip it all in and he'll get one through. 5-6 for Mark. Probably going to go for the limp. 8 deuce for pads. Would be fun to see a raise. Let's do it. 8 deuce offsuit. Let's raise it on up to 4.9 blinds and the raise gets through. 9-8 for pads. They'll go for the min raise. Markovitis with a king. I suppose we can jam. We could call. Folding feels weak. But I don't know what to do. Markovitis lands on the jam. 3-7 suited for Mark. We'll limp it on in. King 9 for pads. Kind of in the same situation. We could jam. We're not facing a raise, so we could just go to the flop. Pad says, let's go to the flop. Queen Jack 4, all hearts. Pad's looking for a heart, or just to hang in there. Has a straight draw to the 10 to go along with their heart draw. Markovitis with the backdoor straight draw. King of clubs on the turn. 4 blinds in the middle. Hopefully Mark just slows down. Good stuff. Looks like he's going to preserve that 12.5 blinds. Deuce on the river, and pads is going to go for some value. It would be cool to see a check. Markovitis could take a little bluff ski. Pads rips it all in. The jam will get through. King queen for pads. Raising it up. 3 deuce hits the muck. King king. 10-7 for pads. Sees a limp. Queen 6-6 flop goes check. Bet fold. And we're moving along. Oh, just kidding. Markovitis gives him a free turn card. Pad makes a pair of 7s. We are not moving along. Pads is going to put a penny in the pot. Well played kings by Markovitis. 1.5 blinds. Pads will pay that off. Look at all the flush draws. 8-9 is a straight draw. 8-10 is a straight draw. Pads even goes for the raise to protect his hand. Markovitis could 3-bet the turn. And then it's going to be difficult for pads to get away from their hand. Mark just plays call. 5 of hearts on the river. Pretty bad card for the 10-7. Not the best for your king-kings either. Hearts obviously get there. 8-9 makes a straight. 8-4 makes a straight. Some of these hands won't be in there. So like, what about like 4-3? 4-3 suited potentially. We see a jam and a fold. Ace and a jack versus a king and an 8. Raise and a jam. Pads will find the fold. Doobity doo 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 doo. Ace 7 versus king 10. Jam. And we might call the king 10. This could be the freaking tournament. 42% for pads we see. He is going to find the call. He's going to need a king or 10 or some straight help. No straight help or king or 10. Just like that. Marco Vitas gets the job done. Very nicely done. Where did he start this bad boy off at? Marco Vitas coming in with 16 blinds. He's the bottom stack. Whoa-wee-wee-wah. And then he gets the job done. He got all the bounties, did he not? I'm pretty sure he picked off each player one by one. What a freaking final table. Way to go, Marco Vitas. Teaching us how to play the damn game. Alrighty, I suppose that's the end of the show. So if you made it all the way through, thanks for checking this shit out. Hopefully we'll see you in another one. Until then, adios, amigos.